Okay, please rejoin if you're there. Please give me 1 second. And I'm gonna, can I move this?
Okay, your network is better right now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Yes. And Tiomo, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Finally, let's hope this is the magic that does it all.
But it's not because she's not in US, right? That's why she can't join. I don't know what else to think.
Okay, let's see.
Uh, uh,
Finally!
uh.
Sorry, guys, again.
Oh my god.
You plan and it doesn't work. Anyway, this is while you were not here, we introduced everybody and I kind of introduced you, but you can talk more about yourself and things like that. But again, this is my big sis Jennifer. Thank you for joining. A lot of people have been saying hi to you and screaming your name like, so yes, without even explaining myself, you can tell we are kind of loud. We are not shy people.
No.
We're just going to be real for you today. We're going to be really real, down to earth.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a real conversation. Again, we're trying to share our perspective. We're African. Yes, we may not live in Africa right now, but there is something about Africa that remains unique no matter where you go. And we're going to share a little bit about our background, who we are, where we've come from. Someone tried to join us, but hey, we're here. So thank you all for watching. I will get right into the conversation. So, big sis, I want to start with you. And again, for context, sorry, before we start the questions. So, me and my sister Jennifer are kind of like in the same age bracket, I would say. And then Yemi is, I would say, in another generation below us. I know for me, it's another generation below us. Don't
Yes.
ask me how come we are so far apart in age. Go ask my father and my mother. That one is not the question that I'll be answering today.
You will do all the explaining, They need to know.
If you're African, you know what's up.
If you don't get it, forget about it.
If you don't get it, forget about it. Anyway, we are closer in age. Me and my sister Jennifer, we're closer in age. Jamie is, I would say, in a Gen
Oh my
Z generation. And for me, what are you, millennial? Like you're way down. Gen Z, okay. All right. So you're going to hear, and it's very through time, as you know, what I plan to share perspectives of different generations, right? Of how we used to see things were before, how things are today, and how there is a crossing of generations, and how we can understand ourselves better and live understanding each other as, even though we're all Africans, there are different perspectives depending on the circumstances that we go. So today we're going to be talking. These are my sisters. This is a table for us. We're going to be sharing, like, we're sitting across each other, you know. But feel free to send your comments, your chats, your whatever. If at any point anybody needs to say something, I may drop one of my stickers so that we can get to the video. But feel free to engage with us. All right. So are you ready? Let's get into the conversation. So
Okay.
these things, talk about it for us, you know. How was it growing up? Like, in terms of how our parents raised us as girls, and if for people who don't know my family, a lot of girls in my family. Again, don't ask me how I lost. Well, like 8 girls and 2 boys.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, forget about it. How was it growing up in our own time in terms of parenting, from how we were brought up by our parents, the circumstances of our growing up and childhood? So just share a little bit about that with us.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Kubona. I'm gonna say.
And since this is our this is not for now. Please, let's talk like.
Wallahi. Now I want to talk with that already.
You know, because I work in the customer service area, so I'm used to talking like this. So, okay, make it come in Nigeria.
Talk like you be.
So I'm going to say our upbringing was a little bit different. You know why? Because one, we had because of the father we had. I'm sure even in our own age group then, it was a big difference because we had a father who was a disciplinarian. We had a father who had 8 girls and 2 boys. So
back to back.
So it was a different ball game for everybody. And then for me, especially because I was the first, I had that I was swooped into that motherly role. You know? So when you have a father who is a disciplinarian, you are the first, and everybody knows how it is being the first child in an African home. It is difficult. So growing up was a bit tough. I'm not gonna lie, you know, because there were some things that you could not say. Like I said, because of the kind of that we had. I'm sure even people in my age group didn't have it like that, but that is how I grew up. So if I'd even up to the point of even going out, like I want to go see my friends.
No.
So like it was something you couldn't even voice out. And now my son wants to go to the mall with the friends, and he comes back and he wants to go to the movies. Like you couldn't even say.
Give them more insight in this conversation. We have to keep it real. Give them insight of it's not just you want to go out. Like if you want to go out, how do you talk to your dad? Give them the scenario.
Yeah. So first of all, going out, it was like we have to do the Lord's Prayer first. Like
Normal level.
who is the first person to go and tell daddy that we want to go out?
We'll be pushing the slave.
Better, it is you. No, I said it yesterday. That last time. Now. And then we hide behind his back.
Yes.
Daddy. And he's trying to catch his sleep because my dad was really working hard. Go, daddy. And then he turns and be like, who is there? And then we run away.
Will vanish.
Run away. You know somebody. Who is there? Who is there? Nobody is saying. And then we'll summon up courage again. And then we'll summon up courage again. Let's go again. Just go and say, I want to go next door. Or daddy, my book is finished.
Yeah.
I want a new nice book. Also, my pencil is finished. You know, we couldn't say things like that. We couldn't do things like that. So my friends in secondary school, then they will plan. They come back on Monday. How they went out or went on Saturday. How they went no clue. Like really.
And another funny part was our moms were always like, you see, my hand not there. You know. That one already spoils everything. Like, go and face him by yourself, with yourself.
When we got older, for secondary school for sure, we're not going anywhere. So when we got older, when we got to uni, and then we'll go, and God, you know, it's 7 o'clock, I don't meet you outside.
7 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
It's 7 p.m. meet you outside. Prepare your story, and your story has to be
a good one for that matter. We received.
Okay, so Yemi, tell us about your own time. Your own time.
Okay.
parenting and your own experience?
Like you said, we had batches, we had generations, we had groups, you know.
I love that word, batches.
we had
Now
we
I
had like sometimes 3 in 1, sometimes 2 in 1. Everybody catch your sub. So
Yeah.
it was me and my younger sister, not so young. We were just like 8 months apart. So we were the ones that, were running things together, rubbing minds. So we have more of our own life stories, that we can really, really relate. Because for my elder ones, like Sis Jennifer and Auntie Omo, those ones were already like out of the picture when we were in the picture, and we were not in the picture when they were.
When we were in
When you were in the picture, you know. So even if we can still relate, like little by little in some kind of thing, because my dad was a one-way kind of man, like one way, but we can't compare his strictness to ours. Even he say yes, we still collect, or like we still collect, but we cannot. When they are telling their own tales, we still they shock. But growing up was really not easy. Having the kind of father we had. He's not approachable. It's not like he's not a nice man. My dad is a very nice person, but I don't know why he just choose to be like that to us. Like you can't just go and face him. How you want just go face lion? How? As in, it's not possible. You have to prepare yourself.
Lion, yes.
Write your scripts and know how you want to present it. You will first go through your mother first. Your mother will now first check it. First check out with you. Let's see if this is okay. But from our own time, he was calming down. He was calming down. We were able to still tease him sometimes, still crack him up sometimes. Yeah, for us, we were still able to, still one way, still have some kind of way with him. Even if yes, you need to still be in order.
Yes.
But I think for the beating side, we need to, maybe that was another section, because
that one was another section. Before we go to other section, let's ask Ofome. So from Ofome's your own perspective, this one be last card for our house.
They didn't beat them now.
Be fresh because she not collect.
They didn't beat you guys. Ofome, there's nothing you have to. You don't just go there.
Ofome, what was your own experience, discipline-wise, growing up?
I'm here on behalf of me and Shoge.
I know.
The world needs to hear our story, right? If you ask any of our older siblings, they say my dad has calmed down, that my dad is the nicest person now. My brother and I, like, we're enjoying. But we're like, what do you mean?
Bombastic side eyes.
But I mean, based on the stories that we heard of, like how my dad was before compared to now, like obviously he has calmed down. So I guess like we're enjoying. And my brother and I will always joke and say like we would have not survived if we lived during the time when my dad was stricter, I guess. But in terms of, let me use the example of maybe wanting to go out or asking for permission to go out. So I think that the differences would still be hesitant to talk to him or tell him. You have to plan what you're going to say, how you're going to word it, like a few days ahead.
Yeah.
You have to run it by your mom and ask, like, how do we say it? Or should you go for us? Or should we go, should you represent us? But I wouldn't say he wasn't approachable. It was just how to word it. In fact, I think it's funny because in our time, my dad would say, "Oh, if your mom agrees, then you can go." So I guess we did have it easy. Like most of the time,
your mom agree with it?
Our mom, yeah. The issue would be convincing our mom. My dad will have no problem at all. So I guess I appreciate that. But like, obviously, ask for permission. So you have to ask for permission to go out. Tell them exactly where you're going. My dad would say, "Give us the person's address." social security number.
BVN.
Whatever.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Obviously, as you can see from the conversation, the same man over time, but his parenting changed as he got older. Not that it changed, but he became more lenient, softer. And by the way, my dad is not on Instagram. This video must not reach him.
I don't think he will mind.
I don't think he will mind. I don't think he will mind. The funny thing is, okay, let me give a little bit of more context for those of you who don't know us and our families. My dad is a lawyer, right? And you may be seeing us now and say, oh yeah, this siblings, how come the man had, you heard us say 8 girls, 2 boys. I don't born now. No, it was a polygamous family. I won't even tell you who are my stepsisters here, but I have stepsisters here. But one core principle that my dad had was he made sure his family was united. We grew up under the same roof with 2 mothers in the same house.
Anybody not able to tell who is the half
Nobody, if I don't tell you, you cannot tell who is my stepsister here. And that relationship is there not because there were issues, there were challenges, there were fights, there were even family will not get steps day. So I'm not gonna lie to you that there weren't challenges, but it was a polygamous family, but my dad glued us together. He insisted that there was that bond of unity, and that's why we're here today. So you might hear us say he's strict. I was saying why he had to be like that. I think he had to be like that because do you know what it means to raise? You are raising children now. Easy, easy.
Not easy.
Girls, and of course, as you can see, pretty girls. He had his work cut out for him. So he had to, yes, he had to be stricter, he had to be firmer, but I believe he did that from, again, the knowledge he had at the time, how he knew to parent as a father, but, also disciplining his children to the best of his ability, even though sometimes I would say that he was too much, but, but it's okay. So let's go into the habit of eating, the culture of eating in the family. What was it like when it comes to food? Can you share?
Okay, so like we said, there were 3 batches. So my age group, it was me, Anne, and Omo, and then the second batch was me, Eshi, and Ogie. Then you had them, me and Solo, before you had them Chinese. So I think even before them Chinese came in, we already kind of almost left the house. So the food sharing was, I said I was the first. So I had the duty of washing plates, which I hated. Till tomorrow, I hate washing plates.
I still hate that.
Till tomorrow, I still hate.
Nobody must tell me to do if I come to your house to visit you. I'm not washing plates.
Let's go down for ground like this because we had some cousins as well.
Yes,
so first,
potato was always full.
My stepmom, dad, then we had cousins. So when you in the kitchen, when you stand for food, when you spread plates like this, everywhere go full. You kind of like hop over kind of to go and pick your food and choose your food. And then sometimes when I remember sometimes when it was rough, we used to share food. So it would be, if it was eba and soup in one plate for the first generation, and generation. And then,
please tell them why. Tell them why it had to be like that. Tell them why it had to be.
Because sometimes the food not rich, and then because I am big, and when I want to share food with someone like who is like in the 3rd generation, of course I'm going to be the faster and the bigger. So
put yourself in your group where
catch yourself.
Like we're not to subdue the one I see 20 years. So they have to share us into groups like that. And it got bad to one. I don't know if you remember, but it got bad to one time that it was bad as in financially that we had to make about the cut the bar for our hand like this because
everybody hold their bar for hand.
Oh, yeah, your hand. For the money too.
I beg, I can't relate. I beg. They not cut a bar for my hand. I don't know that one.
Oh, exactly. This is not pure for your time.
Yeah.
We thank God.
Believed in this. He was the alpha and omega. His wives were not working. He could do and undo. But he forgot that there's a certain stage in life that things will go bad. And when things went bad, and he had women that were solely, totally dependent on him, And then when he went bad, everything went bad too. So it got to a point where one time we could not pay school fees. And my father said that if in his life somebody told him he was not able to pay his children's school fees, he would have told that person that get out. But that is life, you know.
Yeah.
It also affects as well. So it can't reach time.
In life, things happen, you know, and that's something I hope to talk about in another episode of A Journey Through Time. That, you know, yes, there's culture and the place of a man in a home, and that, you know, most men, you know, in the African context are alpha and omegas, like you said. Everything depends. But remember that life is not always a straight line. Life is not constant. The fact that it's like this today does not mean it to be like that tomorrow. And you have to equip not just your children, but your wives and everybody around you to be able to, you know, help out.
Something that Daddy saying, Daddy will always say, Daddy didn't want like our moms to work for sure.
Right.
But do you know he will always every Saturday morning tell us, do not be dependent on anyone. You have to be independent.
Right. So
do not be dependent on any man, in quotes, not even anyone, on any man.
And he never said just like, do not work for anybody. You have to be a boss of yourself and everything, you know.
So that's my point. Is it not funny how in our culture men teach their children, right? They can equip their children and girls especially to be independent, to be this and do things for yourself. But it seems like when they turn to their wives, all those rules don't apply, right? Anyway, that's another conversation that we'll have another day. But, you know, it's just something that I've just been talking about. That why is that not something that men see or project towards their wife? But they want their female children to be, you know, other things. But let me come to you, Yemi. Talk about sharing clothes. Like, what was it like?
No. See, but wait now. How about okay? Having elder ones and they were girls, we were kind of lucky. We were lucky because it always goes down back to us, right? Like what your sister wears, it must come down to you now. So that one day, and for me and Lolo, I think we were, what's the word? Like we were big enough to quickly size up, you know, to some clothes. So normal now, your big sister lip clothes, you go package now. You go shine. If you shine finish, you watch and you keep. And if they catch you for road, no problem. Anything what happen may happen.
Put that cloth from your body for road.
Telling you. So it will still be as bad as maybe you guys, because you guys have to fend for yourself, like, you know. But we, at least, before you wear, you must come down to us anyhow. So for clothes, we shared clothes. We shared almost everything. You know, we didn't really have this is mine, this is yours. That relationship has been there from, you know, forever. So we didn't really suffer for clothes. Or for me, if I see the one where I like, if I travel reach your side, I go take them. No worry. That one was short for me till I even got married. You know, oh, my sister is out now. Till I even got married, I will still steal clothes. It's not even stealing. It's collecting. From my big sister now, it must pass down to us. So that one not the issue.
I was joking with Big Sis the other day that, you know, they will give you the respect when you buy something new. If you're the one that bought it, they will give you the respect to wear it the first time.
So Rocky says, it's for community. Normal now.
Okay, what are would you say were the, like, in your own generation? Again, I know my family is so peculiar that there were pockets of generations of people. Like you said, in the first set there were three of us, and then there were another three, and then there were two, and there were two. That was how we joined. We all grew up. So man, you were in the very last set. You know, how would you say was manners? How were you taught manners? Even in your own generation, Gen Z today, what were the manners and the things that you taught growing up in your time?
I don't remember like, you know, it being something that I was conscious about, like, oh, like my dad sits me down this day and tells me, oh, you have to have good manners. I think we kind of absorbed what we saw our elder ones do and how they acted. I will say we didn't exactly like reproduce that. I will say that we were more comfortable talking to our parents, our dad especially. Like I said before, like my brother and I, like we definitely had that respect for him. But we were more like comfortable approaching him for things, talking to him. But in terms of manners, respect for elders, that's something I feel like that just runs in our family. Like irrespective of your generation, I feel like you kind of learn how to act as a person because you're in a family where like manners and like being a respectable person is very important. Like it's in everything we do. So I would say that, at least for me, growing up and learning like manners, how to talk to elders, what to do when you go to visit a person's house, like whether to eat or not to eat, things like that.
You were not to eat, not whether to eat. You were not to eat or to told so.
Exactly. Things like that, you know, like hearing our elder ones say, oh, you know, this is how we lived and this is what we did. Like you kind of absorb that like a sponge, like this is what to do, this is what you shouldn't do. But we also kind of put our own Gen Z twist on it. Like we were more comfortable, not necessarily like going against the rules, but sort of, you know, doing things a little differently.
Since everything was a bit calmer, so definitely there will be little twist to it.
Yeah, it was easier to kind of find your own, like for example, if my dad said, oh, you can't go to a certain place or you can't do a certain thing, like that would probably not stop me or my brother, honestly. Like we'll probably figure out a way to convince him, which I'm sure is definitely not the case for my sisters. So little things like that. But I would say in terms of manners, like definitely we were still like taught good manners.
Yeah,
Because
for manners, for manners, I think that's a very big role, like that that really passed, you know, passed into all of us that we did not even know till we stepped out from that house, you know. There are some people you see today, adults, I'm not even talking about this generation or my generation or whatever. You wonder, you wonder like how do you be like this? How do you behave like this? How do you act like this? And the only thing you can think of is the way you were raised or who raised you. I'm not I'm not putting any blame to any parent right now. Some parents really tried, but maybe they didn't just want to learn. But there's some things that I personally appreciate right now, like right now, that thank God he raised us because we are not the best, but trust me, I think we don't lack some things, some very key ingredients that people lack now. You know, they are very tiny, they are very little, but they go a long, long, long way. When I was still in the university, I schooled in the University of Abuja, right? And I really went far away from home. And like they said, my dad wasn't really bothered about that. You know, I think I was the only one who really went very far. The rest were like Uniben, highest Ecoma. You know, I went to Uni Abuja. My dad was not, you know, he wasn't really mad about that. He was like, fine, if that's where you have your admission, that's okay. The very first day I hung out with my friends, I was so uncomfortable. I still say this thing anytime I have the opportunity. I was so uncomfortable because it was getting dark. It was like 6:30. I was like, you know what? Before it realized that wait, you did school now, let you day now. You know, before I got used to that aspect of hanging out late, like going out and spending time outside, it took a while because it's nothing you can do. You can't even try it. Even our moms can't even stay out late before 7. It's not possible. You know, so all those little things that we think, oh, it's nothing, really
Yeah.
helped us.
Yeah,
Really,
things
really
like
helped us.
even things like you know, the doggedness. Like sometimes I look at myself and you know, life was not a bed of roses. See, there are certain things that I even say today were things that I heard my father say all the time. Like what I just said, life is not a bed of roses. Those are things that my dad always said, and always, you know, like what for me said, never, not that he was saying, I'm teaching you now that life is not a bed. He imbibed that mentality. He was a hardworking man. He worked very, very hard for his family. He had a big family to take care of. So he would say, you know, you have to never say, like he would say, never say something won't work until you try. You know,
Tomorrow.
that ruggedness, I definitely got it from my dad and my mom. I mean, my dad and my mom, they all co-parented us. So, you know, there are certain things that children, especially the youth of today, you know, things are hard, you quit. Or, you know, you don't like something, you shy away from it. My dad did not, you didn't have the chance. He would tell you, do it once, twice,
Yeah.
3 times. You
Keep doing it. And trust me, he finds a way out.
And I've seen that has
time.
carried through in my life. It has carried through in the mentality, in my going after things and not quitting, you know, because that was ingrained, right? So I agree with you, you know, it may not have been the best of upbringings, but there are certain things that were taught, whether verbal or, you know, was just action-based, that really, really groomed us and really shaped us into the kind of people we are, right? And that's very, very, very important, especially for our youth of today. You know, there are people who may not grow up having a father at home, having both parents at home, or even maybe their parents or one of their parents died or both parents died young. Those are things that when you get a chance to parent, you should be conscious about ingraining into your children, and you know, making sure that they, not just by words, because my dad was not just someone who would say something and not do it. One thing he always said, he don't do things out of eye service. That was a common thing. Don't do things out of, my dad is a very strict guy. He hates eye service, and if you are doing politics, he will call you out very quickly, you know. So things like that were things that were important. So let's move into puberty. I wish Big Sis was here. I don't know why she's having network issues.
I don't know.
I've tried to add her so many times, but I don't know what's going on. But let's talk about puberty. You know, growing up, fine chick, you know, you don't they mature. The boys are come calling. Oh, I wish you were here, because I know we all have similar perspectives, but kind of different, you know. Okay, let me share my own. Since she's not here, I'll share on behalf of my own generation. So, you know, at the time when guys started, you know, chiking and coming, so this funny thing is, even though we were all raised by the same parents, and again, we had pockets of generations in the home, we still had our different individual personalities. Yeah. So my sister, she's the one that if that part is happening, she will find a way. No matter what, she'll find a way. But me, I don't want trouble. I beg. Can I just stay at home and be at peace? Let me know. I don't want wahala. And so when, you know, I started getting that attention, please, I'll just stay in the house. I don't want trouble. Except you want to die, you come to my father's house, you know. But I wanted my sister to share her own perspective of what she had to do and go through, you know, in order to, you know, be a youth, you know, enjoy that stage of our life as being a youth, but at the same time, measuring that because of the father we had, right? So I won't share her perspective because our own perspective is different. My own, I don't want trouble. I just stay out. If I can't handle it, I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, what was your own perspective when you hit puberty and you were, you know, fine girl, boys are asking you out, but you know the papa will born you. If they born you well. So what was your perspective?
First things first, Jehovah House is a
No,
no-go area. You can't even cross that.
my dad had a placard on the top of the house that says Jehovah. So everybody knows
Yes,
that.
everybody calls our house Jehovah House, right? So you, as who they are even coming to look for, you know that they can't even come there, and them too know that they can't even come there. So una need to go find location for another place. That one is certain. No, that one was for all of us. Like you can't even, a guy can't even cross that gate, you know. Even itself, there's a popular neighbor close to us. I don't want to mention her name, opposite our house. That one said she will be the one to ring the bell, say, who you dey find come this house, you know? So normal now, we'll still find a way around it. And sometimes you get carried away, you know, say they don't dark. Before you know 8 o'clock don't reach, you never enter house, all your eye go open. Then Cain go God they wait for you for house. You don't understand. So like that, sometimes you just have to risk it all. Anything that won't happen may happen.
Well, it wasn't just it was not just say boys or girls or even your ordinary friends say person just won't come visit you.
If your regular friends wants to come, I don't really think for us, Daddy didn't really have any problem with that, you know. But he didn't just like the fact that there's English in his house. My dad does, he likes only our language, like strictly our language, especially when he's taking a nap. No friend is allowed to cross that gate because the gate is going to wake him up. And if he catch whoever that is disturbing his sleep, you know, he was that kind of person. So everybody knows the time to bring in a friend, to allow someone in, and all that. So, you know,
Quietly.
so he's just a man of, I don't know.
Oh, for me, what about you? What was growing up, attaining, getting to that puberty, level where this, hey, Lauren, mama, how was this growing up in the culture you were in, the family you were in? Was it tough? Was it difficult? Was it easier?
I say it was easier. I think it was definitely much, much easier. Like in terms of like having friends over, we definitely could have plenty friends. Okay, maybe not plenty at a time, but your friends you could definitely have like 1 or 2 friends over. In fact, my dad would be like, "Oh, entertain them. Want to give them this? Go and bring this from the store. Serve them drinks." I'm like, "Sir." So we definitely have friends and things like that. So I think it was easy. Like even I don't know. I feel like my dad, especially my dad, like he wanted us to have friends over. Like he liked the idea. He's like, in fact, sometimes he'd ask us like, invite your friends over. You guys can hang out here. I don't know. But
But he
like,
never lets you go to their house.
Yeah, so,
that's
yeah.
the thing. Even
So,
to our own generation,
yeah.
like
So it's funny because our parents had I don't know, multicultural perspectives. My dad right from when I knew him, he liked to host. He liked to have people over, throw a little bit of party in the house, cooking big. That's why tomorrow I cannot cook small quantities because there's always
Me
cooking
too.
big
Me
pot.
too. Me too.
I cannot cook for 2 people, 3 people because of the way we were raised. But he would like to have people over. But you can't go. To visit another person was the problem. So have people visit you was okay. And there were times and seasons, as you said, where, it was okay. And then, like, I remember even when I was in uni, there were a lot of my birthday parties that I threw. I had people over, like, party, bedu, music is blasted. And my dad was okay. He would just be right above us upstairs. And we're having a party in the parlor downstairs. And there's a lot of noise and music, but that was fine. He was excited about that.
No matter the cars around, you need to give him his space to park in his garage. No matter what, that space. Oh my God!
Nobody will block his space. That one understand that. He's okay having people come and even throwing parties in the house. But if it was the reverse case, there was a problem.
Exactly.
When you go and visit another person and have someone else come. So which was which was kind of exciting, you know. So let's talk a little bit. We have about 5 more minutes. What about you know, how were holidays in a home? How did this spend?
Only what?
Only what? I can't get it to come. I don't know what's going on. I think the network again. So how were holidays?
I don't know about that. Oh, holiday, how? Okay, for me, holidays was time to learn.
Yes.
Holidays was almost the worst times for us. So every Saturday, you already know the routine. They shouldn't tell you to bring your paper and biro out, and he's going to teach you himself. And you know what that means. Kuku Kimi. It's a Kuku Kimi situation, you know. He wants to do the teaching by himself. He wants to see what you've been up to. All the time he couldn't like go bring your books or whatever because he was a very busy man. He comes home like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. So holidays for us was definitely we don't travel to see anybody, you know. Holidays was for him to like give us a check on our studies and to teach us himself anywhere you're lacking and just help you.
That was not only holidays, that was every Saturday.
Every Saturday, but you can imagine when you now have nowhere to go.
Amplified during holidays. So holidays were, hey, you see this essay writing? I write essay in my lifetime. Can you imagine coming out from summer break and my dad is asking to write essays of how your summer was? Where was the summer? In the house. What did you do? I don't know. Write essays of how the summer was. Hey, my goodness. You know, English, you have to write proper. Your handwriting had to be on point. Your writing had to be on point. And like we said, my dad taught us every Saturday, go and bring arithmetic time. Hey, my goodness.
Long division.
And funny enough, he knew almost everywhere to touch. Like he wasn't lacking anywhere that I'd be like, oh, you know, on this one I can't really help. He had an idea. Even if he doesn't have an idea, he's going to read about it to go teach you whenever he has the time. He goes to read that thing. He thinks, oh, okay, he doesn't really have an idea or he doesn't really know what he's going to do about it. He goes to read it on his own to be able to have an idea to teach you the next time he meets with his set he wants to teach that period. Like he did that. I don't know if you guys experienced that, but I remember in biology he will tell you plain that he doesn't really know anything about biology, but you know what? Give me the book. I'm going to figure it out. And truly, he's going to figure it out. He's going to teach you.
So, what about you in terms of home education, receiving extracurricular lessons? Was that still a big deal, big thing at your time?
Very real. Very real. Let me just say that. Shogi and I traumatized long division. Today I do not like long division because he will sit you down because you're so terrified and you're terrified of disappointing him. It's like a mix of different emotions. So I'm not even paying attention. I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on. So every time long division, essay writing, I think that's why I even knew I liked English because I would look forward to the essay writing. He would even tell me, oh, your handwriting is so good. You know, you're doing well, you're doing this well. So I looked forward to the English part, but the math part was not my favorite.
You don't remember to talk about all the knocks that will land on your head. Maybe I told you 5 times.
There's a kid beside you, and he's going to tell you to go bring the one that is your size. Like, go and pluck your size. Bring it.
Okay, your own size.
Talk about it. Why? But,
yeah. So my dad was a big. I'm not sure why we cannot we were not able to get my other sister in, but we just wanted to share a little bit about us, hang out a little bit on Instagram. And again, all of this is really to express how African culture is so rich. And I'm sure if I were to give everybody here an audience, they would tell us about their own stories and it would be funny and interesting. African culture is so rich. The family system is so intertwined. It's so strong that it makes you who you are. And even though you leave, that environment to another environment, it's so ingrained that it goes with you wherever you go. And so we talk a lot about my dad because again, my dad was the alpha male, we talk a lot about my dad, but of course, behind the scenes where our mothers who were supporting, were providing, were the emotional support we could have. They were the ones that we could go to when they don't flog the daylight out of us. We'll cry to them. Or when my dad says, pick pin, pick pin. If anybody doesn't know pick pin punishment, then we have to go and investigate where you grew up. Pick pin, raise up your hand, But they were the ones that supported us emotionally. They're the ones that provided that backbone support. When my dad was a firm hand, they were the soft hands that will embrace us, to control us, to give us food, will help us, comfort us when we needed comfort. So we have the best of parents in the world, but I would say they did the best with what they had, and they made us who we are. And we're grateful to them, and to all parents who are doing everything they can to inculcate culture, heritage, personality, and also make your children something. I want to say thank you for all you do. Thank you for raising your children well and right, and keep doing what you can, keep trying, and keep helping us become, rich Africans that can go out and, shape the world in a good way. So this is where we'll end today. We know we had a lot of technical difficulties. We had lost my other sister out of the call. Unfortunately, I couldn't get her to join, but hopefully we'll come back again with another extended episode, and then we'll share more about ourselves and more about who we are as Africans and as Nigerians. So thank you all who joined today, Kim and Tracy and Dennis and Doncel, Eshi, and I don't know, Kim here, Big Collection. Oh my gosh.
Uncle Dennis.
All of you, Igimo, everyone. Thank you for sharing this time with us. So have a good rest of your Sunday and see you next time. Next time, we're talking about
Auntie Omo, no. I need to bring a topic for next time. I think next time we need to talk about how every morning, every night, we pray in that house.
Yes. That was a huge.
Yes, it's a very big impact.
Yeah, in the family series, we'll talk about that. But on a journey through time, maybe the next conversation we're going to have is around. It's quite like a question. What is wrong with being black? What is wrong with being? It's a question I've been going on in my head. What is wrong with being black? Okay, so think about that. Hopefully you join us again. Thank you all for joining. Have a good evening. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.